Well, in case they haven't already heard, a couple of us, my son and his wife, and I are going to pedal some bikes across Florida. This is a different trip. This is coast to coast, from Petersburg to Titusville, and we're prepping the bikes right now. Okay, big guy, what are you doing?
Looking for the trail.
Getting ready for the trail. So you got some new toy on Amazon. Here's
your rear rack.
rear rack.
Essentially, you could put panniers, which are basically bags or anything. It's gonna go on the rack. The back of the bike here, extend off there.
Is that backwards the way you're holding it? Just out of curiosity. Yeah, I thought so.
Okay. You can put a blinker.
All right.
Basically, put bags on the sides. And I got the bike last night off Marketplace. Unfortunately, there's a few mishaps on it, but other than that, it works great. Realized today that the water bottles, they don't fit 32 ounce bottles that I had bought. So I took one of the bottles off. So right now I'm taking the other one off. Here's an example of a 32 ounce bottle right here. See, the frame's a little bit smaller than I'd like, because it's going to be very important on the trail, even though we're going to be pretty much along roads and, grocery stores all majority of the way. And yeah. Another thing too is I bought. Hey! Don't you dare!
Oliver,
you gotta go out.
Oliver, you get in trouble, buddy.
Gotta go out, man. Gotta go out.
I'm from old school and I like the old-fashioned handlebars, so I stole these off of another bike, and then these are the handlebars that came on them, and because I don't like to lean over that much or whatever, also hurts my palms of my hands after a while, so I'm going to go ahead and put these on. And I had to, this is a lot thicker than most of the bikes, or at least the old style, so I took a couple pieces of copper tubing about this long, cut them open, and then spread them out on here and banged them on, and then tightened it all up so now they don't move. So that made up the difference that I needed right here. So just peeling this off. Then I got this off. I need to go ahead and get this handle off, and the last one I did, it was a pain. I spent probably a half hour trying to twist it off, using wrenches and pliers, cramming stuff down there, trying to get air in there so it would come off. And the trick I learned is basically, I haven't done this one at all yet, so this one's the first one. So I got a flat screwdriver, long handle, and I just kind of stick it in on the edge. And try not to poke through the material. And once I get it pretty much down to the bottom, I have a spray bottle with some dishwashing detergent in it, and I just spray down in here with this. Wiggle it around a little bit, get it around in many places as I can. Back of it. Okay, I'm hoping that should do it. Got a rag to hold on to, because right now everything's really slippery because of the soapy water. And pull my screwdriver out. And yeah, look at this. Right off. Piece of cake. That's all I had to do. So now that I got this off, I can go ahead and transfer all this stuff onto this one. And now it's time to get this bike ready for the trip.
Yes.
This was the last bike that was bought, and it looks to be in much better shape than Malfunction, which is the name of my bike. I forgot the name of yours. What is yours again?
Glenda.
Glenda. This is Glenda. I'm gonna write that on there somewhere.
No.
Maybe
It looks pretty snazzy the way
maybe
it
I'll
is.
buy you a sticker. So what are we doing today?
We are switching out the handlebars and putting on some more comfortable handholds here. Comfy grip. And then we are putting on the back rack and potentially this guy for the basket, but we shall see. And also some lights.
What is that?
Lights.
Oh, lights.
Yep, front and back. I gotta charge them, I think, though, first, so I'll keep them right there.
Actually, mine was already charged when I got it. I haven't charged mine yet.
Oh, okay. Well, we will just test it out. Yeah, and then we'll put all my dry bag and stuff on the back rack once it is in place and go for a ride.
I have a room where you have a fancy colored one. Is yours black or is it red or
Black.
something? Oh, okay. I see some red through the bag. I thought maybe you had a red
No,
one.
that's my pink runner's band.
Oh, you were
Yeah.
just all cutesy today.
Yeah, and it came with, last time it came with this nice tool bag there, so multi-tool and all that. It's got a light, came with a light. Yeah. Yeah.
And what are these things?
I mean, I imagine it's just another light.
Looks like a light to me.
Yeah, I had not, here's Barry.
Whoa, look at that baby.
That.
You blind everybody behind you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's more of those.
Is there a dim one?
Yeah, it was the brightest. There's the dim.
Oh, that's not too bad, I guess.
And then there's that. Look at that. I don't need a 5 light.
You could actually turn that over and face the ground so it doesn't blind people, but it actually glows off. Probably look cooler anyway.
So there's that.
You try that, see how that looks. 'Cause I'm still seeing spots.
Let's get the power button down outside here. That's the brightest.
Yeah, that light up the whole road below you.
Yeah. Then I got the light top here.
I see another one of these babies down the front. Yeah, they do. Yeah, down here.
This one looks like a white light. Oh, very nice.
Also making up some kind of a extra bar across the front which I can attach things to. I want to use a solid piece of heavy metal because I'm trying to keep the weight down. I'm using some PVC pipe. I cut half of a T longwise in half to make it look like this, and then I heated it up so that I can get it to fit on the handlebar. This other one is the one I haven't heated up yet, and it doesn't go down all the way, so I have to heat it up and then press it on here to get it to stretch and go down all the way. I made this 2.5 inches. I'm not sure if that's going to be good or not. I think it's going to be pretty good. That seems about the right height. And then I'm going to have the other one over here. So it's going to look like this, and there'll be enough room to grab it here, enough height so I don't have my hands in the wiring, and that should work. And if I wanted to, I could actually hold it like this. I'm going to put them as far over as I can, which would be about like that on both sides. A little bit tight there, so I'll probably end up, being able to just grab these like this. And then I plan on putting some of this soft material on it. I'm going to replace this. This is kind of hard because it's aged a bit out in the sun. And then I just stuck this in because I don't want to burn my fingers. Just something to hold it with. And this started up. I'm not trying to char it too much. I just want to get it softer. And there's probably a lot better ways to do this. And it doesn't take a whole lot. And a little more. There, now it goes down pretty far. Well, it didn't cut very well, but that's the gist of it. Gonna use some of these wire ties for now. I have a funny feeling they're gonna be slipped, and I'll probably have to either glue or put a set screw in it. It's basically acetone. And what it does, PVC typically is glossy, and this thing puts a little bite in it, so that it will hold a lot better. And I got the glue all over the place, but oh well. And you want to have your rod handy because you don't want to get them crooked. I built a little rack on the back of the bike. I bought the metal one here, and then I added this on so that the bags wouldn't be bumping into the tires and stuff. And also I have a place to run bungees around to keep them from falling off. I primed them. This is CPVC. It's light, but it's a yellowish color. And I primed it white, and I'm going to go ahead and paint it black now. And also, last night I put the padding on the handlebars, my extended riser, and this is just tape over the PVC pipe coming up or whatever. And so I painted the tape so it won't get sticky, and then I'm gonna it's just primer. Then I'm gonna paint it black right now, and then you can have more control of what you're doing. And in the end, it probably doesn't take that much longer. Actually need to do the training because I'm not a bike rider, and I got to get myself in bike shape pretty fast. I told myself I'd be riding at least 10 miles every day, and so far our longest ride to date, in the last, since we decided to do this, has only been about 8 miles. So I'm got a lot more training to do. This is Jonathan's idea to do this trip. I don't know how he even found out about it. I think he was watching something on YouTube, and next thing you know it, I'm getting roped into a bike trip. Never done a bike trip. Bicycle, I've done a lot of motorcycle trips. And when I ride a motorcycle and I pass these guys going, 5 or 10 miles an hour, I always tell myself, I'm never going to do that. Oh, looks like I'm doing one. Although this isn't in the mountains. In the mountains, you have to go really slow going uphill. And it just looks like a lot of work. But evidently this is something on Jonathan's bucket list. So we're going to knock it out. So we're just going to do about 40 to 65 miles a day and make it a good old fancy adventure. I bought a mirror because I can't really turn my neck very easily. Kind of hurts, so I bought a mirror, but it's really kind of hard to see. I think I'm going to buy a 3-inch round mirror and just glue it right on the face of this one. But I got a new gear sprocket for the back today. They said the other one was too worn out to try to recondition or redo whatever they're going to do to it. So I bought a new one, about 50 bucks installed on the wheel. Chain is probably just a shot, but we're going to hold off on that. A friend of mine gave me this mirror with the double support there or whatever arm, and it's a nice mirror. It worked pretty good. He actually loved it, but to me it was a little bit too narrow, so I went ahead and glued this other one on here. It's maybe 3.5, 4 inches, not sure. I never actually checked it. I had to trim the back side of it because on this mirror here, it's how it sticks out about 1/8 of an inch right here all the way around. That's to protect the mirror in case the bike falls down. This one also has it, but on the back side I had to grind some of it off so that it would actually fit on this mirror. And there's a piece of double stick tape in there that is how you attach it. So I didn't actually use glue. I just actually peeled the sticker off and put that on. So I'm real happy with that now. I can see everything from behind me. You know, it's just a way better view. And this mirror here with the double arm doesn't shake as much, or it absorbs some of the pounding, so it's a finer, not so jumpy of a vision thing. It's kind of like those steady cams that they use. Today we're gonna try to raise this up an inch or two. I bought this fancy dandy thing here. I don't know, quick R, but I guess it looks like it's an adjustable, so you can actually tweak it a little bit. They got all these degrees on here inside, but I'm gonna figure out how to mount this on here. I'm not sure. It must mount with this on this, and then you bend this up, and that gives you like an extra 1.5, 2 inches probably, as compared to this one. And I'm guessing you just unscrew these 2 Allen bolts on this and lift it off, so it should be a fairly easy change out. Well, there you go. Really not hard if you know what you're doing. I didn't know what I was doing. Okay, so I'll take this off, let it hang. This is actually wrong here. There's actually, this neck is thinner than the original neck, which means it doesn't push down on the actual frame of the bike. So you have to use a spacer, which I did not know about, and the spacer would go on, and it allows you, when you put that washer on it, to, as you tighten it, it allows you to tighten up everything on it. But anyway, long story short is this is wrong, and you'll find out later. All right. Because I can use these marks to figure out where the center is. Little hash marks on it. There's a little window in the top opening. Bar extensions, I guess, or risers. It's right here, if you can see that. This part right here. Before, the handlebars were mounted straight off of here, which would have been down here somewhere, and now they're about 2 inches higher. And I have the ability to change the angle, you know, if I wanted to, which I won't, because I want it as tall as I can. And the reason we're doing this is we are extending the handlebars so that they will fit the fancy new grips that Lauren has to put on her. What's the name of your bike again?
Galinda.
Galinda.
Ergonomic handlebars.
So you just mix it up. They're supposed to set up in 5 minutes, so you have 5 minutes of working time, and then about 24 hours before it's fully cured. And we're doing this because we don't know what else to do, and this will probably work really good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to glue this. Always have all the parts ready before you. Jonathan, quick, help me. We're looking for the other parts. There's one. There's the other one. Okay. Pull that out. And I already got it marked with pencil. That's how far we have to go. So we're gonna just goob this up. We'll goob those after we get this started. Just put it on nice and thick and gooey so it drifts down and doesn't come off. Now, as we push this in, it's going to squirt out, so we got to catch it and then put it on the other part. But anyway, that's what we're doing. Comes over to the bike. Tilt the bike so it doesn't drip onto the bike. And we put it on. We're just going to rotate a little bit and try to catch some of this crap before it drips off onto other stuff. Just going to put it here because it's going to end up back here anyway. There we go. Never do this without cardboard or something to protect your driveway. That being said, I don't have any cardboard. Except for the piece we're mixing it up with. And our secondary piece, we're going to put some goop inside because this is a little bit sloppier. We'll get a little more cardboard. We should have on the ground underneath it, catching all the drips anyway. Put a little bit of this underneath, inside.
In your hair.
Did I? Just about. And we're putting this on here like this, catching it. Now the problem is this is supposed to be flush in, so it moved out a little bit. We'll hammer it in.
Block right here.
Copper's a soft metal, it will bend a little bit. And then we're going to goop up the outside of this. This is how you extend handlebars.
One way.
We already did the other side. Jonathan's probably got his hand on the goop at the seam.
Looks good.
I wouldn't move.
Okay. We'll goop the inside of this guy. This is a pretty good fit here on this one. I know you guys over at the bike shop are going to appreciate this little video. They always give me lectures about the stupid stuff I do. But then they also brag about it, so they must like it. This we don't need, it's all left over. And then we'll get some blue tape. Here it is. And this will, if we put the bike on the kickstand or whatever, or actually it won't, because it's going to go the other way. We just don't want it to slide off because this stuff doesn't really, it's real slippery. Just to keep it for now. That's just enough, and then we can scrape some of that off while it's still gooey. That's it. This is the way we're going to extend the handlebars for
Glenda.
Glenda. Right there.
Glenda the Good Witch.
Me and Jonathan went for a ride last night, and we got about 3.5 miles away, and I noticed my front bike was shaking quite a bit. Hit a couple of bumps, and you could hear a lot of rattling in here. And it turns out, I didn't know how this went together. In the old school, this was the screw in here went all the way through and was pulled up on something else underneath, a little wedge, and that kept it tight. The new type is different, I found out afterwards. This is supposed to actually be below this by just a hair, and if it's not, and then when you have the screw that goes through this fancy cone-shaped washer here, it tightens it down and keeps all this compressed tight, and then these screws that go in here are what actually hold it. And I didn't know that. Well, anyway, the screw in the top here, Allen screw in the top, it pushed through this, and therefore it did nothing, and it was rattling and all that stuff. So what I really need is a spacer a little more than a 1/4 inch thick, so that when you put this cap on and you tighten it up, it's pushing against this right here to tighten it all up, and right now it's too high. In order to get home last night, I had to bungee the top and the bottom because I was afraid there was so much wobble in this that it would drop out, something like that. I wasn't sure how it all fastened together. Now I know it wouldn't have fallen out because of these screws here holding this onto this, which this is a continuous piece as part of this, so it wouldn't have fallen out, but we weren't sure, so I bungeed it together so I thought I'd get home without any issues. Turned out I really didn't have to do that, although it did snug it up somewhat. Now I have to I don't know, I bent that up a little bit, so I got to replace that. Doesn't fit on there like it should. And I need some spacers to go in here. Because these are different sizes, that's where a lot of my problem came in. You have to make spacers in order to have them come out to be the same size. More work to be done before the trip. Well, my bike is back together again, and Jonathan's bike front tire.
I was testing out the mini pump and the pressure valve, and I'm not a fan of pressure valves, so
Somehow the valve, what's it called?
press the valve.
The valve, the stem pulled free from the tire. I didn't even know that was possible. So instead of fooling with that, he put a regular inner tube in there, and he had to drill the hole a little bit bigger. And now we're questioning a little bit about how big the hole should be. It should be about right, but the same distance as mine is. About a 1/2 inch out, the rubber. Maybe 3/8 on that, but it's probably.
That's why we test all the equipment.
Anyway,
For the ride.
got his bike out here. The only bike that hasn't been worked on is Lauren's.
So I'm adding a stabilizer bar. So as I'm riding, I started out using conduit with a 90-degree elbow here, but with that extended, it didn't fit through the door. So as I was trying to get to the door, it ended up breaking off the elbow of the conduit. So after that happened, I had tested before that, riding around, it was great, worked fine, but it still seemed a little flimsy. So instead of that, went to Lowe's, took back the other elbow, and got this Steel Tech solid bar here. Solid, true 3/4 inch. Yeah.
Well, when you say solid, it's not solid, it's hollow.
Well, it's stronger than that bar.
It's a heavy duty.
Heavy duty bar. So. Although it's still fairly light. So now I'm going to replace my current top bar with this bar and the stronger elbows from Steel Tech. Have an easy Allen key, so I can easily take it on and off when I'm going through the door or just like as we're riding. So essentially it's going to look like, I'll put this one on ready. idea is so that when I'm riding, I'll have the option of like lean or I can just sit back. I might have put it look essentially like that, and then I potentially put some more cross things like that for more handholds and yeah. So.
He's gonna paint it after he does the test drive tomorrow. See how he likes it.
I'll do a test drive right now. All right, so what's going on right here?
I'm extending the kickstand because they never make them long enough, and with all the weight of all the junk on the bike wants to tip over. It leans. Even if I tie back the handlebar, which I have done up top, so that the tire stays straight with the bike, it still doesn't take much to tip it over. Your finger and you could just about tip it over.
Well, actually, they do make them long enough. You just more or less you're just using
Well,
spare.
he bought on his bike an adjustable kickstand, so he can actually make it longer and the bike sits straighter. When I saw his bike sitting straighter, and I noticed it was much more stable than mine, and mine didn't have half the weight he does, I knew I had to lengthen the kickstand. I tried it out first with a piece of pipe I found, laid it on the ground and kickstand on it, and that worked really good. I went ahead and added a 1/4 inch just because I'm that way. So what I'm doing now is I measured where this all goes. This is actually going to be extended this amount right here, and when you put the pipe on there, from there to there, it's somewhere around here, and double check that. About a 1/2 inch off of that, and right about there. I had a pencil mark, but I lost it, so somewhere around there. So if these pencil marks line up with this, that means this is all the way touching here and touching there. If it's not, it probably won't hold very good. Copper is not a very strong metal. It's bendable, but because it's got so much surface area and the tension all around it, it will work perfect. Now the trick is to epoxy. This epoxy is a little bit on the thin side for doing something like this, and this is all I have, so this is going to have to work. And the epoxy is a 2-part system. It doesn't need air to dry and harden, it just needs time. This is a 5-minute setting, which means you have 5 minutes of working time, about maybe a little less, before it starts stiffening up. And it really won't be completely dry for 24 hours, but after an hour you can kind of use it. I probably won't use it. I'll just lean the bike up against something, but I can still go for a ride later on today. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to goop it on here. This is my own idea. I really don't recommend doing stuff like this, but you know, because I am different, this is what we're doing. You don't waste it. Catch the drips. Okay, so the plan is to stick this on. Wish I could get some down inside. Maybe I'll just try to feed a little in there. Yeah, that actually does work. I got plenty of stuff. And I will put some on this just because I want to get the stuff all over my fingers. I'm going to do the bottom half to try to prevent that from completely happening.
The epoxy.
Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to slide this up to my pencil mark about there. Slide this baby inside, and I can actually put a little more goop on it now that I got it sliding. And I did get it on my fingers, but oh well, we knew that was going to happen. Stuff it in there. Put some more on this baby, and then shove this in here also. See the bike, something's moving. Okay, and it goes.
Your line, move your line, you move back.
And to go back up further. There's a hammer. Okay, that's hitting, so this has to come back down to about there is what I figured on.
Line right there.
Okay, so actually, technically, I can just lean this on my kickstand. Normal. I should probably put some tape on the end of this so that it doesn't all ooze out. I don't have any tape handy. Now, before I extended this back kickstand, which actually seems to work really good with the string attached to keep the wheel straight. But I had already ordered this center kickstand here that's adjustable, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it on, and if I like it better than my other one, I'm gonna just take off the other one. I'm not gonna take two, I don't believe, so whatever one works the best gets to stay. Just the turn, and all of a sudden just fall off. That's how I cut the other piece of this. I forgot which one I needed. This one. Sharper end is the one I just cut, but it's not sharp at the edges. So I'm going to put this in. This edge is already soft, so less likely to get cut. Slide this back on there. Actually, I should probably. That looks like my chain is shot. I know that because when I'm driving, it just keeps hopping all over my back derailleur, and that's what they told me when it went bad. That's what it would do. So I'm just going to cut the chain. If this will actually work, I think it will. Yep. And then I can take this chain in to the bike shop and then get me a new one with a master link. So that's the plan. Go ahead and take that in this morning. The bike store said these cheaper bikes have a lot of wobble, and that's normal. They always have a little bit of wobble there on the cheaper bikes. Gotta promote my movie. If you don't know about it, just look up I Am Second Voyage. I had to kind of squeeze it, cut the letters out because I'm a little bit tight on space. And somewhere I gotta figure out how to put on Amazon Prime on here. Got the eye a little high, but that's okay. This is what we're gonna put on there. Yeah, there's no such thing as not enough gaudiness. So, gonna go right down there. Alrighty, see you later. Oh, and by the way, I was gonna say Blondie's got a basket on.
What do you think, Sierra? Oh, what?
There we go on our first test of the loaded up truck with the bikes in it. It's not a total waste. We're actually going to go riding somewhere. I don't know. Should we tell them where we're going to go? No. You're going to wait for the video.